Lost Zone Engines got the better of the Rapid Strikers, and I think that's against conventional wisdom.
Yeah, I know. Well, with the anti-meta deck, maybe the meta deck's just found a way, but here we see Kristian, Fontenot and all those achievements there, definitely not to be snuffed at. Regular Regigigas player back in the past, but representing the Lost Box variant with that iron hands. And a few more tricks up their sleeve as well, definitely in their deck list. I see a Tropius as well, as you mentioned, but here we see Kristian, Hodas as well. What achievements these are.
Yeah, world's top 32, Bochum top 16, as well as Bremen. So enjoys coming over to Germany and getting some big results. This is into the top 4 though, so this really does crown those achievements, and what a way to do it with such an interesting archetype, a real rogue one. As the Lost Zone variants, you can see the super effective glasses in Kristian Hodas's list. But we had to showcase it because, man, that's a wacky choice, and I can't believe it's paid off.
Taking advantage of the meta. I mean, just like the cloth with those, we're taking advantage of the weaknesses of the fighting and grass type. You know, Kristian playing all sorts of tricks. We mentioned the Tropius again, but of course the Iron Hands, the Glaring Moltres V, you know, really taking advantage. And of course the Minior as well with the super effective, definitely gets rid of Snorlax. But here we see both of our players getting started with Kristian kicking us off here with Comfey in the active as well. This is definitely an ideal start, but however, I see a nest ball there for Kristian. Can definitely play that, get another flower selecting off with that Comfey. I see a couple of switch outs as well, and we're rearing to go, Joe.
Yep, what a great way to start our Masters top 4, 75 minutes on the clock, best of 3 here. Kristian Fontenot is playing with the Lost Zone Sablezard approach with Sableye and Charizard at the helm. So it's going to be pretty much a Puritan single prize deck. It's going to hope to only give up 1 prize at a time. Has their opening deck search with the Nest Ball here. Kristian does have ways of taking multi-prize knockouts. Of course, Iron Hands EX is going to be one of these big cards to follow during the game. If the Iron Hands is sort of left on the board unchecked, it could be Kristian Hodas's means of really getting one over of Kristian Fontenot. But this is a pretty decent start. As you said, a couple switching cards in the opening hand, as well as a few flower selectings. We're going to be on our Lost Zone mission, ramping up our Lost Zone engine to get Cramorant online, and well as working towards Sableye. 10 is a crucial threshold for Kristian Fontenot.
And that Iron Hands is definitely what we see on the face of it as being, you know, the strategy for Kristian Hodas. But then it's all about how whether, you know, Kristian Fontenot can respond there, you know, with that Radiant Charizard. Does play some options to get around it, does play the Mirage Gate to try and get that Excited Heart ability up and running early on if Kristian Hodas is able to take some prizes as early as possible.
Yeah, stop me if you've heard this one, Ben. Immediately, a tough flower selecting.
Nah, you're joking.
Chorus Experiment versus Battle VIP Pass. It's a nice problem to have, but it's a shame when these two cards come up against each other. So we are going to have to sacrifice a Chorus's Experiment in order to get a couple of basics developed. You can see a Manaphy coming onto the board, as well as a Jirachi. So you're protecting yourself against Sableye, but also against Greninja. Interestingly enough, though, I'm not sure if these players have actually played against each other just yet, because Kristian Hodas has no Water Energy for their Radiant Greninja, and they play no Sableye in the deck.
No Sableye. Well, this is the problem. You know, you face up against the Greninja, and that's all they have at the moment on their board. You don't quite know what they have in store for you. You know, do they play the Sableye? And you kind of have to play this little guessing game. And we see the Jirachi come down as a sort of security, right, against the potential Sableye. But I think what's interesting here is going to be how Kristian Hodas can get that Iron Hands up and running as soon as possible, or even if that's the game plan. But with no Sableye, there's no other options to take multiple prizes. You touched upon the Radiant Greninja, no Moonlight Shuriken available, with no Water Energy, of course. So Iron Hands is the only way to get ahead of the prize race early on.
I think we've just got a quick split sleeve here. Should be a pretty easy solution through the shuffle. It was caught pretty quickly, so this shouldn't be too much of an issue. Kristian, like you said, is having a pretty good turn. It's actually quite funny that both of these tech Pokemon normally would be so correct to get these established so early, and it was definitely the right thing to go for when you don't know your opponent's deck list, especially when you're staring down a Radiant Greninja on that first turn of the game. But it's just going to not work out too well. I'm sure Kristian will readjust their strategy going into games 2 and 3 if required. But regardless, they've still developed double Comfey. They have a Cramorant ready to go, and they're happy enough to pass things over to Kristian Hodas here. He's going to kick things off with Radiant Greninja.
Yeah, conceal cards as well straight away. Questioning as whether Kristian does have any resources in hand available to him, but does have the Nest Ball, can get a Comfey out, get those flower selectings up and running. definitely wants to get engaged and get started in this matchup. Does want an explosive start, maybe even a Cramorant of his own.
Yeah, that's the ideal situation.
Yeah, get ahead of
the prize race.
Yeah, initiate those prize races, like you said. Get one prize, get up and running. And we see here just a little deck check. I can't imagine those super effective classes coming into play here. There's not many targets against Kristian Fontenot's deck. Doesn't play any multiple prizes, doesn't play any Vs, definitely no VMAXs, of course, no V-Stars. So those super effective glasses, maybe, you know, a bit useless here. Maybe wants to start getting rid of them in the lost zone, discarding them early on, thinning out the deck. And here we see a Galarian Moltres and Raikou as well, coming to the front of the deck. Can't imagine that they may be options here. They can be some vulnerable two prizes. It
can, but it probably indicates that we have not much else apart from Forest Seal Stone or Town Store possibly in the deck list. Yeah, there we go. We see the Town Store coming down. So the Forest Seal Stone is going to unlock this hand a little bit for Kristian Hodas. A great consistency booster. We've seen in so many turbo engines of Lost Box. This would be such a staple combo in the list.
I really like having this. It's definitely having that sense of security, right? You can get all your pieces up and going. We talk about how explosive that these Lost Zone decks need to be in order to get set up. You find your little pieces, you find your Colress, you find your Battle VIP pass, and that's exactly what we're seeing here.
Yep, it is going to be the Chorus's experiment choice from the Forest Seal Stone. No surprise there, as Kristian wants to work towards that 4th threshold so they can initiate the pressure, as we've mentioned, but also work towards that 7th threshold as well, because Iron Hands EX is going to be the key threat that Kristian wants to try and reuse. Let's see the big 5 cards. More Colress in hand for next turn.
No Battle VIP pass.
Yeah, some difficult choices here.
Can't even see any Nest Ball either. Does have switch outs, does still have...
so many switch outs, but no Ball Search.
Does have Fleet Footed as an emergency option.
We might be at that stage, you know.
We might be there as well. Of course,
Moltres is happy enough to hit the Lost Zone. That's not all that useful, as with the Super Rod. Sometimes a combo piece, but yeah, looks like Kristian Hodas is going to be hoping for one big Fleet-Footed here to unlock their hand. Any Comfey, Battle VIP passes is the dream, of course.
We've seen this on stream, though. The Fleet-Footed sometimes does come out as... Well, what do we see here?
Nest Ball.
That's massive. A Nest Ball, plenty of switch outs in hand already as well. Can get a Comfey out, can start to use Flower Selecting, maybe hit another Ball Search.
More Comfey. We're getting slowly there. It's going to be a turn attachment of Gift Energy. This could allow you to retreat Raikou into that Comfey, but it is going to be a pass. We're holding on to the resources instead here and just hoping that the Raikou V can tank for a turn.
Yeah, starting the game with only 2 cards in the Lost Zone. Not ideal. You would have thought that a Spit Innocently would have been the play there. Does get the... Kristian starts us off by using Town Store for the Devolution. Technical Machine Devolution. I can't imagine that will be useful in this matchup. But
just see the first thin it out so you never draw that card. We're going to see a big Chorus now as they easily work their way to 4 cards in the Lost Zone. This deck is all about the 4 and 10 threshold. It doesn't have many Mirage Gate, just 1 copy. So it can't really work in a Radiant Charizard until Kristian Hodas has begun to take prize cards. So I imagine there's not going to be much outside of a Spit Innocently here, but Kristian with a much better hand so far. Yeah,
I think for Kristian Fontenot, the strategy here is to keep getting those Radiant Charizards out, right? He's got plenty of Clara available to him. He's got Super Rod as well. It's all about whether he can stream that game plan. It's whether he can just keep using the Radiant Charizard over and over again against these big multi-prizes.
And part of the scrutiny of this deck is that you have to constantly thin the junk out. You have a number of cards that are just text for other situations and other matchups. You're growing this hand size, but you're also trying to filter all this other stuff. So when we work towards this very specific late game, needing to move Comfey in and out of the active, having to have late game Claras to reuse that Radiant Charizard like you mentioned, you want to make sure that even if you are getting hit with hand disruptors, you're going to still have really good outs to close a game here, as it is going to be a Spit Innocently from Kristian Fontenot to start pressurizing the Raikou V here.
Yeah, that's definitely ideal. Just having that setup damage on the Raikou will mean that Spit Innocently next turn will take those 2 prizes. We see here the Town Store being used, thinning out the
What
deck.
is this?
Yeah, what is that?
The super effective glasses has made it to top 4. You can believe it. Kristian Hodas with a really creative build of Lost Box, but we are looking for some Fleet-Footeds to help out. The Chorus's experiment is finally here, though.
Yeah, big 5 here for Kristian. needs to find something to get up and running in this match.
Well, there's Iron Hands, there's some Mirage Gate, some pieces.
Iron Hands, you'd imagine that's definitely being kept in the hand.
Still no Bull Search.
Yeah, still no Bull Search.
Really would want to, well, we've held the Nest Ball, so we can go for a Cramorant play this turn.
Yeah, with
that's
two,
probably the best situation here.
2 in the lost zone. You have the gift energy for the retreat as well. Or well, you
so
still have have so many switching cards in the hand as well.
These are 5 massive cuts, all so important.
We talk about
the switch card is the only easy choice here.
Yeah, we talk about awkward Colress and awkward flower selectings. This is definitely the start of it here.
Boy, did Kristian Hodas wish it was the likes of Tropius in that top 5. Just get rid of it.
Just get rid of that, but definitely can't get rid of the Iron Hands. We talked about how important this might be in this matchup, giving him the ability to take multiple prizes per turn. Here we see the fleet-footed Roaring Moon. Not fantastic.
Still not great in the matchup. It really feels like Kristian Hodas is going to also remain a 1-prize deck for the majority of the game and only weave in Iron Hands when it's necessary.
I think we talk about the advantage of Lost Box using all of these little single prizes, the Sableyes, the Cramorants, but I think what Kristian Hodas is going for is going to have to rely on is maybe some 2 prizes.
Interesting. Not the Cramorant that I was expecting. It's going to be Nest Ball for Comfey, so you're not coming back in and sort of getting ahead in the prize race in this instance. We're going to start flower selecting, perhaps.
Yeah, start thinning out the deck, start getting some resources up and running, start filling out that hand with options for the future turns. Can
we get towards any Lost Vacuum shenanigans? Could that be what Kristian is hoping for here?
An important switch card. I believe that takes it out of range of Ace Innocently now as well, which is great.
Importantly, not getting you out of range of Sableye for later,
no.
Which is a shame.
No,
but you do have more switch cards that you can try and use again on future turns.
Yes. Here we see the flower selecting. Couldn't see what 2 cards it was. The Comfey coming down.
Maybe Countercatcher.
Maybe expecting a Spit Innocently knockout next turn.
You could just attack with the Raikou here.
Yes. Take a nice, easy prize here, but you're starting to, whittling down those prizes, you're starting to activate that Excited Heart ability on the Radiant Charizard.
There was another Nest Ball rooting around in the hand, so it could also be a Cramorant.
Yes. Here we see the Cramorant coming down with that Nest Ball, and it might be the play that you mentioned.
Seems like an easy response here.
Yeah, I like it. Getting the prize race up and running for yourself. Take 1 prize. With
you spend double switch card here just to push your Raikou V out of Sableye range. I think I like it, honestly. It's just going to be immediately into Cramorant, though. Because I'm concerned that this Raikou V is just going to be easily slammed into with a Sableye, because Kristian Fontenot is pretty close to 10 cards in the Lost Zone now. They have 6 currently, 2 Comfey on board, and a Colress's Experiment already in hand. They can start using Lost Mine this turn, and that would be really scary.
Yes, here we see the Town Store. Just thinning out that deck further, just looking for another option. Here we see,
I think this is the Town Store.
Nice little deck search there, seeing what options he has here.
Yeah, the other Technical Machine Devolution is in the prize cards, so it can't be thinned for free.
1 already in hand as well. Not much hand disruption going on in this match either.
Yeah, surprisingly, there's just 1 Roxanne between them.
Yes.
And it's from Kristian Fontenot.
Yes.
Kristian Hodas is all gas instead.
Yes, all gas for sure. No Iono, just the 1 Roxanne, like you said. So we'll see if that comes out later in the game, of course.
Yeah, unsurprisingly, we're grabbing Sableye here. I think Kristian already has lined up a pretty nice way to 10 cards in the Lost Zone and Psychic Energy, so it seems like a no-brainer Lost Mine onto Raikou V here. Because Kristian Hodas, with the Iron Hands EX already in the bench, is likely to come in to try and respond on the Sableye, but that's when you should be in range of your Radiant Charizard. So it should be really easy for Kristian Fontenot now to keep up with 2 prize knockouts.
Yeah, here we see the Colress coming down as well. Another Battle VIP pass, easy choice for Kristian. Hitting that Lost Zone, putting him up to
gear.
Yeah, putting him up to 8 in the Lost Zone. Wants to be hitting that Magic 10, like you said.
Possibly keeping the Lost Vacuum also helps out. Guarantee your way to 10 cards here.
Yes.
Another easy choice for Kristian Fontenot. Going to get rid of a Fog Crystal. It's a really nice boast that Sablezard has. A bit more space for even more Ball Search cards.
Yeah.
So we see the Escape Rope now.
With that Comfey coming into the active, another Flower Selecting will put him up to the 10 now. Sableye, Lost Mine now active.
The Beach Court going to go, because it was up against Radiant Charizard, so that decision was kind of made up for you. But this is everything you need as Kristian Fontenot here. You've got your 2 prize KO lined up with Lost Mine. And you're already holding on to the Radiant Charizard Raihan combination for next turn. This is everything you want to have.
Yeah, this is a very easy lost mine as well. And with no hand disruption from Kristian Hodas as well, Kristian Fontenot is going to keep that massive
That's
hand.
ridiculous.
Yes.
The hand size is huge, and it's stacked full of great cards, and it's not going anywhere.
No, when we speak about how he's having, well, he's got to have to stream the Radiant Charizard, you know, constantly to start taking these massive 2-prize knockouts. And with a hand like that, you'd imagine that's definitely...
It's going to be pretty easy, actually.
It's going to be pretty easy for him.
How can Kristian Hodas navigate their way around this? They're likely going to weave in the Iron Hands EX to reply on this Sableye. They could just go for Cramorant to just keep a 1-prize Pokemon in the active position, but it feels like the longer you wait taking your prize cards, the easier it, the easier it is for a Radiant Charizard to come down. At least if you come in early with Iron Hands EX, you are at least forcing Right Hands,
yes.
Mirage Gates, Double Turbos, those sorts of cards.
It's really awkward as well, because even if Kristian Hodas is able to use Ampy very much now, it only puts him on 3 prize cards remaining, and Kristian Fontenot is just going to take those 2 prizes, put himself on 2, and even if Kristian Hodas is going to be taking another Ampy very much out as well, that's another easy 2 prizes.
Mirage Gate coming down as expected. We're going to be loading up on Iron Hands EX here. Going to be 1 Lightning. Well, no, we already have a Lightning ready for the Ampy very much, so we're going to get rid of a Darkness Energy and a Grass Energy. Keep more Lightning Energy around in the deck, just in case you can reload your Iron Hands EX, which makes a good amount of sense here.
Yeah, I feel like this is something you have to do to just get ahead of the prize race. The Ampy very much definitely the strategy here for Kristian.
There's a Zinnia's Resolve.
Zinnia's Resolve.
Okay. You don't always see that in the Lost Zone engine. It's just a one-of copy. It does allow you to keep growing a hand size as we finally switch card into the Iron Hands. We have a manual attachment to get our way to 4 cards. And
yes.
It's going to be the Ampu very much option. Can Kristian thin any other cards? They're going down to 3 prize cards this turn, so have to also be aware of the potential of Roxanne. Yeah, going to throw these super effective glasses on just because you never want to draw these again.
Yeah, I like this. And of course, for Kristian now, with that Radiant Charizard, with Kristian down to 3 prizes, is going to have to find a way to attach 2 to the Radiant Charizard in order to use Combustion Blast.
Well, I've got good news. There's already right hand in hand.
Yes.
So should not
That's
be
fantastic.
too tricky.
Yeah, easy enough.
Look at the hand size for Kristian Fontenot here.
Yes, I mean, this is massive. You know, we talk about how powerful hand disruption is at the moment in this game, and this is just a prime example of that. Has so many
reading
options.
a book right now.
Yes.
How many cards they have to read right now, staring them down. An awkward Lost Zone decision there with Flower selecting. It's going to get rid of a 2nd copy of Sableye.
Relying on that one.
But it's Charizard's time. That's we've got far enough into the game where it is just going to be Combustion Blast taking the wheel here.
Yeah, and putting himself only 2 prize cards away from taking this game as well. And here we see the deck search.
Yeah, unsurprising. It's going to be a manual attachment to get this Radiant Charizard ready to rumble. With 3 prize cards taken from Kristian Hodas, the Excited Heart will reduce Combustion Blast down to just 2 energy, including that fire for the turn. So as long as Kristian Fontenot here has Switch Cart, which you have to imagine with his hand size. Oh, wow, it's Escape Rope.
Oh, Escape Rope, interesting.
But we do also have the Counter Catcher in hand, so we can bring back the Iron Hands anyway here.
Yeah, using that resource, maybe thinning the hand down.
It's got to be just Counter Catch this Iron Hands back up. It's too threatening.
You'd have to, yeah.
Straight back into the Iron Hands then. And it means Kristian is going to be 2 prize cards away, going back up in the prize race.
And it puts Kristian Hodas in a really tricky situation because he can't really put down another 2 prizer, right?
Yep.
It leaves it vulnerable to Kristian Fontenot just taking the game with another Charizard. So awkward times for sure for Kristian Hodas. Let's see how he responds here.
I also like Kristian Fontenot putting down another Cramorant, to be honest with you. I feel like that's pretty safe at this stage. Also just going to throw away Technical Machine Devolution. No longer required. Can continue to thin with Lost Vacuum as well. Just draw into any of these cards.
It's also how he responds to the Radiant Charizard itself, because, you know, with that 160 HP, it's really awkward to deal with. You know, Kristian Hodas doesn't have any single prizes that can deal with that sort of damage.
Yeah, this is a gap in the sort of attacking toolkit for Kristian Hodas.
Yes.
Kristian is just going to continue to put themselves into a better and better position. Power padding back a couple supporter cards, just in case there is any hand disruption. I really like to see the diligence here, protecting every situation. We've seen
Imagine a
now the combustion
yeah.
blast. What a fantastic attack.
Yeah.
Taking a 2-prize KO on the Iron Hands EX. It was too dangerous to be kept around.
Kristian putting...
Now Kristian 2 prizes away.
Yeah, I was just about to say, 2 prizes away now from taking game 1 in this top 4. What a fantastic position to be in. We spoke about how awkward this is for Kristian Hodas now.
Does right hand change anything?
See
go cherry-picking any card in deck.
Well, again, is how you deal with this Radiant Charizard, right?
Well, we could be reloading Iron Hands. You could do the old arm press for 160.
Yeah, you could...
It's your highest hit point Pokemon at the same time.
You could deal with the Radiant Charizard, but you would imagine with a hand like Kristian Fontenot, he's able to just stream that Radiant Charizard again next turn.
Yeah, possibly bossing orders around the Radiant Charizard this turn. Just use Cramorant to take a single prize knockout, then Iron Handsing your final 2 prizes is the best way to map out the game here for Kristian Hodas.
Yeah, that's certainly a way to do it. Of course, not putting down a 2-prizer, you are limiting Kristian Fontenot's ability to take the game next turn.
Yeah, so Kristian Hodas actually does have a decent line here. It's just whether or not it's going to be hand disrupted away from them.
Yeah.
Because Kristian Fontenot does have the Roxanne available. I'm not sure if it's in the hand just yet, but really Kristian has to go for a Cramorant knockout on something that's not this Charizard, because of course Cramorant does not hit for weakness with Spit Innocently.
You would imagine
looking to keep your pieces for Iron Hands next turn.
You'd imagine the Roxanne is in hand with the hand size, but yeah, we see the boss here, Spit Innocently on that Comfey. Just removing a little bit more consistency from Kristian Fontenot as well at the same time. Taking the prize, and Kristian Hodas only 1 Ampu very much away from taking this game.
And this is a big turn here. Kristian Fontenot cannot win this turn, but could lose next turn as long as Kristian Hodas is able to rebuild an Iron Hands. So it's going to be whether or not Kristian Fontenot can work towards Roxanne to make it more tricky for Kristian Hodas to rebuild the Iron Hands EX.
No more Comfey available either. The Nespal misses there, so only 1 flower selecting available. We did see Roxanne in the deck there.
But the deck size was large. There was a decent number of cards there. It's not great odds to hit this Roxanne.
This is a big flower selecting now. Let's see what he gets here.
VIP Plus is always going to hit. Oh, it's the Roxanne!
It's the Roxanne as well. This is absolutely huge. This could really swing the game here for Kristian Fontenot. What a draw there from the flower selecting.
Absolutely insane. Can Roxanne here has the manual attachment to get this Comfey out of the active position. And everything Kristian Hodas has done last turn to set themselves up has just been wiped away. They will only have 2 cards. That's not a lot when you want to reload a 4-energy Iron Hands EX.
You're not going to be getting a lot of resources in your hand from that Roxanne, especially with that, like you said, that 4-energy requirement on the Ampu very much. And not only that, but Gust as well will be required in order to take the game. So even more resources
still counter-catcher for Kristian Hodas. So, I mean, you have to find a supporter at the very least.
Yeah, you'd have to imagine.
Probably a Chorus's Experiment or that Zinnia's Resolve.
Yes,
maybe. Along those lines that goes haywire.
You'd have to imagine, the retreat into the Radiant Charizard there. And a nice Combustion Blast to take the 1 prize, putting himself only 1 prize card away from taking the game 1 here.
This is going to be super interesting. Let's get our first glance of Kristian Hodas's hand.
I think it was Nest Ball.
I see Colrus, I see Nest Ball.
Nest Ball.
We can get the Iron Hands onto the board. We need to be looking towards Mirage Gate here. Is there more than 1 Mirage Gate even in the deck?
There is Escape Rope.
Let's have a look at how many Mirage Gate have been played. I know at least 1 has found their way into the Lost Zone.
Countercatcher.
I think there's a Darkness Energy in hand, so you could continue to draw cards with Radiant Greninja.
I think I see the 1 Mirage Gate. Oh, there is 2 Mirage Gates still available.
2 Mirage Gate in the deck to work towards here from a big Chorus's Experiment.
But you don't want to draw into the energy at the same time.
Yeah, you're dicing with energy. You could draw back into Super Rod as well. Yeah. This is a low odds play. Don't get it twisted. There are enough gates in the deck to do it.
1 flower selecting and a Colrus. You'll be able to see 7 cards, maybe even a concealed cards from the Greninja as well.
Going to be the Colrus first. 5. You don't need to have it all from these 5. Those are not that helpful, though.
No. Escape Rope is there, though.
Escape Rope is a piece. Definitely is a piece.
You have the Lightning Energy as well.
Yeah, that can be manually attached if you wish.
So it's just the 2 Mirage Gates that you want here.
We have 2 draws from Radiant Greninja, and you get to keep 1 of your draws from Flower Selecting.
Yeah, and you keep 1 energy as well, 2 energy in the hand.
For an attachment,
also.
Correct, yeah.
So you do have the manual attachment. Here we see the concealed cards. Big 2 here for Kristian. 1 Mirage Gate
and an energy card.
Oh, this flower selecting.
I don't think we can get there off of 1 flower selecting. We can use a Mirage Gate and get a couple energy out here Does that mean that Kristian Hodas has to just leave an Iron Hand in the active position?
It's unfortunate.
Hope for the best?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's only Darkness Energy in the deck as well, so only able to attach one energy from that Mirage Gate.
No, it's going to be concession. It's going to be game one to Kristian Fontenot here. Kristian Hodas not able to rebuild thanks to a really, really well-timed Roxanne. And Kristian Fontenot knows. Wow, what a clutch play that was. One flower selecting towards the single copy of Roxanne. And found it in the nick of time.
Showing the power of disruption, right? Fortunate, of course, to draw into it, but, you know, showing the power of it, putting Kristian Hodas to only 2 cards, you know, making it difficult to get that Ampu very much up and running. It was still quite close, considering...
The prize map was there. The line was there.
Considering, you know, putting him down to 2 cards, he still, you know, nearly got there.
Yeah, got to C9 still, so had a decent chunk and a good attempt there, but not quite able to line it all up. As we said, drew into too many of this energy alongside the Mirage Gate. It did have to be a pretty specific combination of cards to get it done, especially because, you know, you needed the rope, you needed to get the Mirage Gates whilst not drawing other energy pieces. There was a lot you had to find, in fairness. So Kristian Fontenot finding Roxanne, crucial moment. And that means they're a game up here in the top 4 of the Masters division. The high stakes tables right now, with so many points and cash prizes on the line, and even booster packs.
So much on the table here for both of our players. But it's really awkward for thinking about this game on a high level. I think it's really awkward for Kristian Hodas to deal with that Radiant Charizard, right? I think that's something I underestimated going into this game. That 160 HP cost is really, really, really awkward. Yeah,
and normally when you are worried about an attacker, you just kind of ignore it. Radiant Charizard can't really be ignored. It comes straight back at you with 250 damage. That's not really something you can just shrug off.
And with no disruption available, you know, you've got to expect it coming out over and over again. You know, Kristian Fontenot does have the Claras as well. We've seen this before. You know, we've seen Radiant Charizard and Lost Box before. They play a plethora of Clara, so they're able to get the Radiant Charizard back out with the fire energy and continue attacking over and over.
You don't like to see that. 2 of your Comfey as well as Radiant Greninja in the prize cards for Kristian Hodas here. That's not going to make life easy for you. And you've started your Tropius of all Pokemon.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the worst card, but it's certainly not great. It's only got a 1 retreat cost. That's one thing going for you. And we do have at least a Nest Ball to kick off the game for Kristian, but I don't think it was a fantastic hand.
A lot of consistency gone now with these prizes. The Radiant Greninja Conceal cards now gone, 2 Comfey as well. So he'll only have 2 available to him to start this game up and running.
And half the deck's upside down
and
right
half
now.
the deck's is upside down.
That's what happens when you mush your deck together in frustration when it doesn't all come together in a game 1 situation.
Yeah, for sure.
That's one way to check through the deck. You just see what's facing upwards.
Yeah, for sure. And you can imagine this is going to be a Comfey coming straight down, start getting those flower selectings up and running. Didn't happen for him in game 1. So you can imagine going for a explosive start now.
We do have energy to retreat, but nothing else. So it might just be a panic flower selecting here, Ben.
Yes. Yeah. Well, we've seen Kristian Fontenot do it with the Roxanne.
Yeah,
Kristian Hodas can do it as well. Hit a Battle VIP pass, you would hope. But yeah, all good starting the Tropius as well.
Gonna have to retreat this and go into 1 flower selecting 2 cards. And we're going to need to start seeing more basic search. The Battle VIP Pass is the critical card right now. Even if just finding another Nest Ball here or a physical Comfey, your last one remaining in the deck, would be massive. Because if you just get this 1 Comfey knocked out, that is all of your draw power.
Big 2 cards. It's a lightning energy.
Mirage Gate, I think.
Mirage Gate, I think it was, yeah. No other options to get Pokemon out on the bench here.
That ain't it.
No, that ain't it at all.
Yeah, counter-catcher.
Oh, it was counter-catcher. It was counter-catcher.
Also not helpful.
Yeah, not fantastic either.
That is not what you want to be. You're a game down in the Masters top 4, and you've had a pretty slow start. Passing things over to Kristian Fontenot here. If they can get a KO on this Comfey,
I was just about to say,
it's going to be massive.
If they're really able to punish this
they have Battle VIP Pass.
That's 1 piece to the puzzle.
I saw Fog Crystal in there as well. There's going to be a lot of basic ball search here. Kristian Fontenot has a fantastic start in the second game.
Yeah, he's going to be looking to get up and running here. You can imagine this is going to be a Comfey, perhaps even the Cramorant as well. Maybe even 2 Comfey.
Yep.
Really start getting up and running.
Yeah, it depends on the missing pieces. We couldn't quite catch that from above right now. But yeah, when you start Battle VIP Pass, you already have a Comfey in the active position. There should be some pretty easy ways to get that Spit Innocently rolling, especially if there's a Chorus's Experiment in hand.
And it'd leave Kristian Hodas in a really tricky situation if he's able to take the knockout here, because, of course, 2 are in the prizes, as we mentioned. Only 1 more Comfey would be available to Kristian Hodas in order to start, you know, getting through your deck, getting through your resources, start up and running, and start taking knockouts. Yeah, tricky situation, but...
I'm happy to see Kristian Fontenot take their time with the prize cards right now, because it's so easy to see your opponent have a weak start, you're a game up, you're thinking everything's groovy, and then you just miss a step and everything goes wrong. So I like taking the time to have a look through your prize cards, keep a level head here. That's what you need in these top table games in the Masters top 4.
Yeah, we usually see players get really excited when your opponent...
I'd have been cheering at that point.
Yes, I'd have been screaming. But here we see the Fog Crystal for the Comfey, like you mentioned. Stellar option, fantastic utility card in this deck. Can search out Sableye, Psychic Energy, and also the Comfey.
Oh boy, it's a Chorus's Experiment as well. We really... Oh yeah, I see lots of switching cards in there.
Switch card as well.
There should be... Yeah, I think there's another Fog Crystal in the hand, so you can pay retreat one of this Comfey. Yeah. This is perfect.
Yeah, this is really, really good for Kristian Fontenot.
I think
what a start.
We've seen enough basic search. We don't need the Artisan or the Nest Ball here. Those are easy choices.
Definitely don't want to be putting down
Definitely
don't want to be putting down that Artisan. You don't want to give Kristian Hodas the option to get...
Actually just going to throw away a Cramorant. And like you said, yeah, going to get rid of the Artisan. That's the least valuable card.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, that's the only route for Kristian Hodas to get more Comfey right now.
Here we see the flower selecting as well, Battle VIP Pass.
It's turn 1 and you still don't need Battle VIP Pass. You've got so much basic search.
That's the worst card. Come on. And I think it was a Beach Court.
Yeah, seems like a good card again, not to play, but just to hold. Oh, wow. He's going to go for the Battle VIP Pass. Again, it's one of these situations where we have Caster Vision. We know that this Manaphy isn't all that relevant, and possibly the Jirachi isn't all that relevant, but Kristian Fontenot didn't know that at the time, so
yeah, not going to be
also pretty reasonable. You can also just start preloading Radiant Charizard, because as we know, it's such an awkward Pokemon to knock out.
Yeah, I do like it.
Here we go. It's going to be the Jirachi and Sableye.
Jirachi and Sableye, as you said, maybe getting up another attacker as an option. We see, you know, 3 cards already in the Lost Zone. You can imagine getting to 10 will be that bit easier now. Putting a second attacker down as the Sableye. Start, you know, putting that down as a threat against Kristian Hodas. Here we see the manual retreat into the other Comfey.
This is getting us to 4 cards.
Yeah, getting us to 4 here. Just needs a retreat now.
Got the switch cards galore.
Already has the switch card into the Spit Innocently, and this is huge.
This is throwing their cards around. They know what a great position they're in, thanks to this Spit Innocently. And Kristian Hodas, they have draw power from Zinnia's Resolve, but I'm not sure what else.
And how do they respond to Mirage Gate in hand as well? Resources you definitely don't want to be getting rid of. Thankfully,
you're drawing cards with Zinnia's Resolve, but you're not going to 4 cards in the Lost Zone.
You're not putting more cards in the Lost Zone. I think that's the problem here.
You even keep, I mean, if you keep Super Effective Glasses, you actually have the option to Lost Vacuum. We have seen Lost Vacuum and Forest Sealstone. That could be the only way that we can still get to 4 cards in the Lost Zone here.
Was there even a V Pokemon they could attach the Forest Sealstone to?
Oh, there's no... Yeah, you're right. There's no Pokemon to attach the Forest Sealstone to. But you could still use it just to... Yeah, I mean...
It's actually a good thing that they drew... It's actually a good thing they drew into the Iron Hands in the first place, because it could have been even just a Tropius on them.
Yeah, we needed any basic here. We have our back against the wall right now for Kristian Hodas. Do not get it twisted. It's just the pass.
It's just the pass. Rough here for Kristian Hodas. Let's see if they can punish the poor start here.
Well, I got bad news for you. There's more Chorus's Experiment. Kristian Fontenot is not slowing down right now. They are continuing on this rampage with such a great opener here.
Yeah, Kristian Hodas must be thinking, can I borrow that for just 1 second, please?
Where are my ones of those?
Yeah, I need one myself.
4.
Come on.
Having to get rid of a key piece here. Interesting to see the Raihan and Palpad get discarded here. I kind of like Raihan.
I suppose with the Raihan, though, you're realizing the good start you have right now. And I suppose...
That's true.
Yeah.
But I also think that if an Iron Hands does hit the board and you can just come in with Raihan attached double turbo and wipe the Iron Hands off the board, then you're really laughing.
I suppose, but I think with Kristian Hodas only having 1 in the Lost Zone coming into their turn 3...
That is true.
That is very true, Joe.
Yeah, you're right.
Awkward situation here.
Yeah, another Spit Innocently is all it needs.
Yeah.
Kristian Fontenot going 2 prizes ahead, and Kristian Hodas with just 1 card in the lost zone right now.
Super odd, not helpful. We do see a right hand, so can arm press this turn.
Yep, that's very true.
Yeah, it can arm press, can start taking some prizes.
Please tell me there's a lightning energy in this hand, because if we have to right hand just to, we have to grab the lightning energy and stay on a pretty dead hand. This does not feel great.
No, it certainly doesn't. Clutching at straws here, really. Even taking the arm press is a bit threatening. Of course, starting to take prizes, that Radiant Charizard starts, you know, threatening you here.
Yeah, I think Kristian is recognizing that you need to start ramping this lost zone, and with 2 Comfey in the prize cards, 1 knocked out, it's going to have to be a Colress for next turn. You're hoping that Iron Hands EX can tank a hit for a turn, because the board is full right now for Kristian Fontenot. So they are limited to just this 110 or maximum 120 damage with a Lost Mine.
I mean, even for Kristian Fontenot, you know, Spit Innocently and a Lost Mine will take out this Iron Hands. So, you know, if you're not dealing with the arm press and you're not applying pressure, you know, it's how you deal with that. Does have the oh, sorry, does have the gift energy. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, sorry.
2 lightning energy for the arm press, correct, yeah. That's the trouble. And we're just going to see more Colress. We're getting towards that crucial threshold of 10 very soon as well.
Does have that double colorless as well. Might come in very relevant.
Yeah, really nice card to hold.
Yeah.
It's going to be a Hisuian Heavy Ball and Battle VIP Pass again. Easy choices for Kristian Fontenot here. Now at 8 cards, could get to 10 with an easy Lost Vacuum of their own Technical Machine Devolution, whilst thinning the hand, because again, they just have such a silly hand size at this stage. It's Colress every turn of the game, has got a few flower selectings in, and they are really just starting to get into the
look at that hand,
ascendancy.
That's a dream. Look at that hand.
It's hard to hold it all at this stage.
Yes.
You've got to sift through so many options of what the best card to get rid of with your Lost Vacuum if you want to get to 10. I don't see why not, really.
Yeah.
To get to 10 just early. It's going to be an escape rope just for yourself to keep flower selecting. This is another way to ramp your Lost Zone. I think it was Clara versus something. Clara hitting the Lost Zone. Another switch card here. You get to keep Fire Energy. Maybe just retreating Fire Energy is important for Kristian here, so you open up more right hand or more ways to get accelerating to your Radiant Charizard. There are 2 copies of right hand in the deck list.
Yeah, this is relevant. And a nice Spit Innocently, again, puts it in range of a Lost Mine in the later turn, drawing that Minior as well. Not going to be relevant here. And here we see a big, big Colress. Oh, no Pokemon Search either.
This is a big, big problem for Kristian Hodas.
Yeah, this is an issue.
You have Minior Switch Cart, so that your Iron Hand is not immediately knocked out from a Lost Mine.
You're pretty much forced to put down that Minior to even stay in the game, right?
Yeah.
With no Pokemon Surge now from this Colress, and with Kristian Fontenot able to take the knockout on this Iron Hands, it'll mean that they'll be able to take the game.
Kristian Hodas is in a terrible position here.
This is the one thing he didn't want to have.
The jaws are slowly shutting on them. Iron Hands, you can protect for a little while longer, but even then, you're even just giving up another single prize knockout when you're up against a single prize matchup.
Yes.
Still a big problem for you.
Yeah, of course. Just eyeing up that Minior as well, just to stay in the game, Joe. Doesn't feel great.
Certainly doesn't. It's going to be the switch cart players we expected.
Yes.
Because this is your only threat on the board.
They're doing what they can. You know, they're doing exactly what they can here to stay in the game. However, no other switch outs, right?
No.
So it's just a simple pass.
Yeah, it's not looking great for Kristian Hodas. How can Kristian Fontenot capitalize on this even more? We know their hand size is insane. We know they've played Colress every single turn.
I like, if it's available, just to switch cart into the Sableye, keep that Minior in the active.
Yeah,
you know?
And that's what we're seeing. Fog Crystal for Psych Energy immediately going on to the Sableye. We have 9 cards currently in the Lost Zone. We know there's Lost Vacuum available to get ourselves over that threshold.
Get ourselves to 10 very easily. And keeping that Minior in the active it requires Kristian Hodas to just have that many more resources.
This is the other way to get to 10.
You will see the combo, sorry.
Yep, throws away Spiritomb. Life is good for Kristian Fontenot here.
Yes, for sure. Here we see the Beach Court as well. Nice little free retreat. Does put that Minior 2-1 retreat cost, however.
Yeah, this is a curious one, actually. I feel like the Lost Vacuum may have been maybe it's only, yeah, that was the only switch card anyway. The only switching option, I should say.
Yes. Oh, it does have the Lost Vacuum as well.
Yeah, Lost Vacuum, but you could have done this without actually going into Comfey.
Yeah, I think Escape Rope was in hand as well.
Yeah, you could have gone directly into the Sableye and not given the -1 retreat option here.
Yeah, that's right.
But the beach, so we're lost vacuuming away the beach got ICIC,
Yes,
so we're keeping the pressure on.
I think taking the knockout on the Minior there. Yeah. So
We are still knocking out the Minior.
Yes. And then
Putting the remainder onto Iron Hands.
5 damage counters on the Iron Hands. So now putting that Iron Hands up to 130 damage, only 100 damage remaining. A switch card can save it from a lost mine. Top deck in the Colress's experiment. I feel like you're still clutching at straws here, Joe.
It's a lovely top deck, but we're about 4 turns behind. That's the issue.
Does have
easy choices with Colress's experiment. We're getting to 5 cards, I think, now.
Yes.
Hey, the Hisuian Heavy Ball's a big one. You've got 3 great Pokemon to pick from. Got 2 Comfey and Radiant Greninja.
Take your pick. I feel like I wouldn't know what to select here, really. I mean, you can select the Comfey, but it's a nice little Lost Mine target for later turns. Yeah, I do like the Radiant Greninja.
You're going to manually attach anyway this turn, so you don't need to get to 7 from Mirage Gate.
Yeah.
So you can still swing with your Iron Hands. And also, I think just the low hit points of Comfey at this point is actually more of a detriment to you, because it allows more Sableye to come onto the board for easy prize cards. The fact that you have 130 hit points on this Radiant Greninja is actually going to become relevant for you, trying to deny an easy route for Kristian Fontenot to close out their last 3 prize cards.
Yeah, here we see the Radiant Greninja hitting the hand from that Hisuian level ball. Going to put that down. Conceal cards now active. Does have a few, well, just only the 1 energy.
Won't be very much time.
Yes,
going to be well, a quick town store first.
Just
reset the deck. Yeah, I don't think there's even any targets here. We've got rid of a couple of our super effective glasses. There's the Forest Seal Stone already in the hand. But at least we're taking some prizes back here, Ben.
Yes, well, it's something at least. It's something.
It's honest work.
Yes, it's honest work. But of course, if Kristian Fontenot is able to take the knockout with the Radiant Charizard next turn, he'll only put him 1 prize card away, Joe, from taking this game.
And I think it's pretty much all in hand. Again, we have like a 20 card or so hand. We know there's the Radiant Charizard. We know there's already well, there's also the option to spit innocently through this. 130 damage already on Iron Hands. We don't even need Charizard here. You could load that in the back if you needed.
Yeah, strong position here from Kristian Fontenot. How does he want to deal with this? Is it a spit innocently? Is it a Radiant Charizard?
Yeah, the world's your oyster. You have all the options.
Does have the Clara here. Opts for the Sableye.
Yeah, that's all you need as well. Just another backup attacking option.
Even the Fire Energy in the discard as well for that right hand. Here we see a Flower selecting as well. 2 Colress, I believe.
Throws away the Colress because they just hit the switch card anyway.
Yeah, I mean, already hitting 13 into the Lost Zone as well. You know you're going to be keeping that hand as well. So you can definitely see why.
Switch card or Escape Rope, it's basically the same thing, because you're always going to be targeting the Iron Hands. Means that you just get to keep more potential healing cards if ever Sableye does come into play from Kristian Hodas. But Kristian Fontenot is going to be going down to a single prize card remaining, and is also able to get a little dinky damage counter onto this Radiant Greninja, which doesn't seem like much, but it completely sets you up.
It's relevant.
Yep, it completely does.
Yeah, spit innocently and a Lost Mine will be able to take the knockout here on the Radiant Greninja, and Kristian Fontenot only 1 prize card away, Joe, from taking this game.
Can Kristian Hodas come up with anything from this position?
I feel like you know, although he's been having this unfortunate start, he's managing to keep on coloring, but just not finding anything, Joe.
Yeah, it's still so awkward. We're finally getting to 7 cards, so Mirage Gates are online. Ideally, we can make another Iron Hands here. And from Kristian Hodas' perspective, you just hope that there's no sign of Charizard. It's low percentages once again. We're in the same position as last game, where you're kind of just crossing your fingers at this stage, because it's so likely with the hand size that Kristian Fontenot has that they can close against you here with no hand disruption.
I mean, you've got to be thinking with the size of Kristian Fontenot's hand that Radiant Charizard is going to be an option. Even has the double colorless energy in hand as well, just in case Kristian Hodas just wants to take the 1 prize as well.
We have Super Rod, we have enough Mirage Gate, so it will be most likely Iron Hands recovered and back into the active position. So we're doing everything we can here to go just 2 prize cards away from winning.
There are so many ways of winning, though, for Kristian Fontenot.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Trust me, I know. I'm trying to make it interesting, Ben. Trying to make it interesting out here. I feel like Kristian Fontenot is in a really solid position.
Yeah, for sure. And you with the Super Rod going for that Iron Hands, like you said.
Yeah, has Nest Ball in hand, has these Mirage Gates. They've been clogging the hand all game, but they're finally unlocked. So it will be the return of Iron Hands EX. Another Ampy very much lined up.
Another Ampy very much, putting himself only 2 prize cards away if he's able to take this knockout on the Sableye. Does have the Mirage Gate in hand, too, actually, in hand, so can just get this Ampy very much up and running with 4 energy attachments. But I think, yeah, it's just a 3 energy in deck left.
So yeah, I think we have some switching cards in here as well. As we can move the Greninja, we can manually attach a Lightning for turn.
Doesn't want to escape rope either, by the way.
Yep, unless you have switch cart,
Yeah, wants to be removing the threat of the Sableye as well, but without a switch...
We have the switch cart?
I don't believe so.
Oh, no.
No, this is even worse.
It's going to be the draws from concealed cards. Switch cart would be huge here. We do hit the switch cart.
We hit the switch cart. We have the manual attachment as well.
That's something. We can celebrate that at least.
Yes, we can celebrate that, but now it's all about whether Kristian Fontenot does have the Radiant Charizard next turn to take the response knockout on the Iron Hands, I guess.
I would guess.
Yeah, I would guess.
I would guess so. Why not? Could also be a escape rope for the Greninja anyway. Doesn't matter at this point. Just 1 prize card remaining. Kristian Hodas, a valiant effort here. They've had a very poor opener, and they've brought it down to just this situation where if the Iron Hands EX can tank for a turn, it will be their game, but it feels like Kristian Fontenot has the answers already prepped in their hand here.
Doing what he can. Doing what he can. You know, playing to the outs. You know, valiant effort, like you said. Here we see the Hisuian level ball just getting out of Comfey here as well.
Nah, just not even taking it.
Not even taking it? Oh, yeah, it was the prize card from the previous.
It's going to be another Raikou V coming onto the board. There's Forest Seal Stone, and it's going to be the Ampy very much for 2 prize cards.
And here we see Kristian Fontenot.
As long as we play the cards in the correct sequence, there should be no issue here whatsoever.
Does have a Nest Ball, the Radiant Charizard coming down with the Fire Energy.
There it is.
And the switch cards.
Brings the Radiant Charizard back into the acquisition to knock out the Iron Hands EX. Kristian Fontenot going to win 2-0, taking themselves to the final.
Yeah, what a fantastic game that was. Kristian Fontenot showing the power again of the Radiant Charizard Lost Box variant. It's a deck that we haven't seen very often coming into these tournaments lately, but Kristian Fontenot bringing it back, showing just how powerful it is.
Yeah.
And, you know, what a game.
And it seemed, honestly, just a lot more consistent than the amalgamation that Kristian Hodas was having. Obviously, they had a fantastic record. They made top 4. Their deck list was consistent in its own right, but it felt like the combination of just very early pressure with Cramorant, having the Sableye still being such a big threat, and the Radiant Charizard, what a key component to that archetype that was just such a difficult Pokemon to deal with for Kristian Hodas. Even having like 6 or 7 different attackers in their deck list, they still had no real answer to this Charizard.
I think that was the name of the game, right? It was baiting these 2 prizes to come out. And, you know, Kristian Fontenot able to just basically gobble them up, take another 2 prizes. Thank you very much. And it seems that that strategy of taking that Ampy very much game plan over and over again was just not a viable option in the end.
Yeah, and some really good choices from Kristian over the course of the weekend. Has some tech inclusions like the Jirachi if you do come up against them Lost Zone mirror matches. You got Spiritomb to help out against Mew in your deck. There was a couple copies of the Technical Machine Devolution that can help you with your own Lost Zone quest because it gives you some Lost Vacuum targets to help ramp yourself.